As the fading blue twilight blankets the northern hemisphere, the undisputed monarch of this silent realm claims his aquatic throne. Surrounded by an endless ocean of tall black spruce, he must gather calories from the freezing depths. Tonight, survival demands absolute mastery over this harsh, beautiful, and unforgiving cold wilderness. Deep within the endless northern hemisphere, life patiently endures winter. The Canadian Boreal Forest is an ancient wilderness where profound silence rules the frigid dawn. Mist rolls heavily across the sphagnum bog, concealing a landscape of almost incomprehensible scale. In these quiet morning hours, aquatic architects navigate the glassy, cold waterways. Territorial claims are maintained through generations of absolute, quiet vigilance. High in the canopy, predators of the night slowly conclude their watch. Every branch and needle plays a vital role in this harsh ecosystem's balance. Small foragers work tirelessly to harvest the forest's sparse offerings. Fluid agility is absolutely essential for survival among the complex lattice of decaying deadfall. Undisputed monarchs of the taiga stand like silent monoliths amidst the untouched damp woodland. The rivers act as vital arteries, carrying life through the dense and shadowed terrain. Enormous energy is required to sustain such magnificent giants during freezing morning hours. The biting cold of the boreal climate demands thick, waterproof insulation. Constant labor ensures that fortresses of mud and wood remain entirely secure. As dawn mist lifts, the true immensity of the winding river systems becomes apparent. Rhythmic drumming signals the diurnal shift across the moss, driven by an ancient circadian rhythm. Cautious movements are necessary when navigating the treacherous, uneven surface of the forest floor. Survival often relies on perfect stillness and incredibly sharp senses. The chase is a constant underlying tension within the dense green understory. Patience is the ultimate weapon for those hunting among the massive granite boulders. Towering over shrubs, apex herbivores like the solitary bull moose embrace the coming day. Abundant willow branches provide essential nutrients needed to fuel these massive wandering bodies. Each deep breath draws in the crisp, icy northern air. Solitary wanderers traverse wet meadows, relying on their keen smell to find sustenance. Opportunistic foragers often find strange alliances within the quiet, shared boreal community. Countless coniferous pine trees stretch toward the misty horizon, forming vast lungs of the north. Powerful wings carry keen eyes high above the unbroken, dense canopy of the wilderness. Ancient guardians survey the sprawling territory they have commanded for countless millennia. Razor-sharp talons maintain a secure grip against the wind. Nomadic herds step across fragile lichen, perfectly adapted to this barren, open landscape. Lush aquatic plants, hidden beneath dark water, provide massive calories for large regional inhabitants. Frenetic energy bursts through the underbrush as stores are gathered for leaner times. The transition between forest and meadow offers a vital bounty of seasonal growth. The morning chill begins to fade under the brightened sky. Thick coats provide excellent protection from wet brush and relentless swarming insects. Clear lakes offer a brief respite before the heavy humidity of midday settles. Chest deep in freezing water, immense power is required to wade through muddy shallows. Water easily sheds from the incredibly dense, perfectly oiled fur. Strong currents are met with determined paddling and absolute, unyielding persistence. The endless taiga ecosystem slowly warms as diffused daylight penetrates the thick, overcast layer. Rare predators continuously patrol their vast territories with unmatched endurance and agility. Speed and fluidity are essential when navigating the chaotic lattice of dead wood. Specialized hooves act like snowshoes, distributing weight evenly across soft, spongy lichen beds. Open clearings draw out solitary giants, seeking the tender, sunlit green shoots. Every step crushes the dry, brittle ground cover into dust. Thermal currents rise, allowing effortless soaring high above the endless green ocean. Massive stick nests serve as generational fortresses, built high above the reach of danger. Unblinking observation from granite outcrops ensures the safety of the distant, hidden pack. Balance is maintained effortlessly against the rising, unpredictable high winds. The slow, deliberate march of these hooved mammals continues across the pale, open tundra. Grazing together provides safety in numbers across exposed expanses of ancient reindeer lichen. Immense strength easily tears apart decaying logs in search of protein-rich insect larvae. Soft velvet protects the rapidly growing bone during the summer. Acute hearing pinpoints the faintest rustle of prey beneath the forest floor. Meticulous foraging behavior among dense blueberry bushes yields a vital, sugary harvest of energy. Crashing through flooded thickets requires physical dominance and relentless forward-driving momentum. Precision and absolute silence are hallmarks of the truly successful, deeply specialized hunter. Rippling muscles power through the heavy resistance of the water. Curious observers watch the massive disturbances left in the wake of giants. The desolate immensity of the bogs offers stark contrast to the claustrophobic tree density. As midday heat rises, giants retreat into the darkest shadows to escape the insects. Sprawled across high branches, smaller creatures pant softly in the rising humidity. Rest is an absolute necessity to digest massive quantities of fibrous aquatic vegetation. Heavy eyelids drift shut as the forest slips into lethargy. Damp crevices provide a crucial microclimate to conserve precious bodily moisture. Slick river mud offers cooling relief from the oppressive stillness of the afternoon. Deep exhalations echo across sandbars as heavy carnivores surrender to deep sleep. The mirror-like river surface perfectly reflects the profound stillness of the taiga. Sharp teeth are briefly revealed during a lazy, relaxed yawn. Inside the insulated lodge, meticulous grooming maintains essential waterproofing of the thick fur. Perfect camouflage renders motionless forms completely invisible against the rough, gray, dead pine. Cool granite boulders draw heat away from thickly furred bodies, struggling against warm air. The vast deadfall labyrinth provides an impenetrable fortress for those seeking undisturbed rest. Involuntary twitches betray the active dreams of the sleeping apex predator. Wedged securely into the high forks of trees, spiky armor deters bold climbers. Floating completely motionless on the glassy lake, peace reigns under the uniform gray sky. Sun-bleached sticks bake slowly, drying out the muddy mortar of the massive lodge. Sitting quietly in the shallows is a simple strategy to endure the stifling midday. A single red eye opens, always maintaining a cautious watch. Smooth shoreline boulders serve as perfect warm platforms for a deep sleep. Blending perfectly into bark patterns, nocturnal hunters wait patiently for the coming darkness. The mature canopy shields its sleeping inhabitants from the harsh glare and heat of day. The stifling humidity forces all unnecessary movement to entirely cease until dusk. Breathing becomes incredibly slow and shallow to conserve vital energy. Limbs dangle loosely over mossy branches, surrendered to the quiet exhaustion of midday. Eventually, immense bulk must be laboriously heaved off the ground as feeding urges return. Sudden movement instantly draws the unblinking focus of nearby hidden Canadian lynx eyes. Straight forest corridors emphasize the claustrophobic scale of this dense, true wilderness. Immense weight compresses the deep, spongy moss, releasing dark water. Cautious footsteps resume the endless search for sustenance across the forest floor. The hunt begins with slow, deliberate steps, keeping a low profile to avoid detection. Fear triggers absolute rigidity, relying entirely on surrounding brush to hide from danger. Unblinking amber eyes lock onto the target through the branches. Unmatched agility allows swift escapes across the high, horizontal spruce branches overhead. Silent observers track the deadly tension unfolding in shadows of the lower understory. Emerging from dark timber, the giants return to lush marshes as the light softens. Violent tearing of roots exposes rich, muddy nutrients hidden beneath the soil. Prehensile lips expertly strip the green leaves with incredible speed. Constant maintenance is required to keep narrow marsh channels fully navigable. From broken snags, majestic sentinels observe renewed activity spreading across the vast landscape. Stepping deliberately over mossy deadfall, herds resume browsing as the afternoon slowly cools. Massive front claws pull apart the earth, seeking deeply buried sustenance below. Brittle lichen crunches softly beneath the weight of splayed hooves. A rapid head-first descent brings the hard-earned harvest down to the ground. Meticulous preening ensures that insulating feathers remain in perfect condition for the coming night. Long pools of dark river water quench the massive thirst built up during heat. Patient observation from downstream ensures that no opportunity or danger is ever missed. Thick streams of water cascade from the heavy, velvety muzzle. A fluid, head-first plunge instantly breaks the calm surface of the muddy bank. The meandering river cuts a deep channel through the endless, dark green ocean of pines. The pursuit escalates into a rapid, silent, bounding run through dense blueberry bushes. A frantic, zigzagging sprint is the only defense against the accelerating predator. Heavily padded paws grip the damp moss for explosive leverage. High vantage points offer a safe view of the desperate struggle occurring far below. Keen noses lift into cooling air, instantly tracking the scent of disturbed earth and animals. A graceful dive culminates in lethal talons, extending just inches above the water. A heavy rolling gait carries shoreline scavengers for miles along the rocky edge of lakes. A sharp backward toss easily swallows the silverfish whole. Massive wings are slowly stretched, preparing for silent flight of the approaching dusk. Millions of spruce tops stretch toward the horizon under the heavy, warming, overcast sky. A perfect wake reflects the dusty orange hues of the rapidly fading twilight. Majestic, dark silhouettes stand perfectly still, surveying the darkening expanse of the marsh. An explosive slap of the tail warns all nearby threats. Playful circles in the glassy water celebrate the arrival of the cool dusk. Rhythmic calls pierce the quiet, forming the very start of the evening chorus. Deep echoes across the canopy, establishing dominance over shadows of the Boreal Forest. From high granite ridges, a long haunting is released into the deep blue sky. The powerful vocalization reverberates, sending a chill through the wilderness. Deliberate clawing steps carry nocturnal foragers higher into the dark branches. Cautious hops lead out from the thickets as the cover of darkness finally falls. Acrobatic leaps turn hunters into fast-moving shadows against the deep twilight moss. Resting together in open expanses provides herds a crucial visual advantage against the night. Wide, dark eyes stare intensely, tracking the unseen nocturnal movements. Massive black shapes lumber heavily toward the tree line to secure a safe bedding site. Utterly soundless flight allows winged predators to drop completely undetected from above. A long cuts perfectly through the absolute silence of the boreal lake. Gliding silently along the shoreline, the minimal effort leaves only a faint parting ripple. The final vibrations of the haunting call slowly fade away. Pulling with immense strength, final heavy branches are dragged into place in darkness. An overwhelming of thousands of frogs entirely consumes the night. Ghost-like silhouettes patrol high ridges, forever watching over immense dark valleys spread below. Deliberate strides carry towering shapes down dark paths, moving inevitably toward the waiting lake. The ultimate solitude of fading day is captured perfectly in the unbroken shoreline stillness. Wide antlers are expertly maneuvered through the dense, dark trunks. Relentless nocturnal patrols pause briefly to lap up the freezing, dark shoreline water. Stepping into the shallows, the first heavy hoof sends a slow ripple across the glass. Wading chest-deep into vast stillness, immense power pushes through freezing, dark blue water. Deep create thick clouds of white mist in the freezing air. Enormous heads submerge entirely beneath the surface, feeding peacefully in the profound quiet. Water cascades from antlers as majestic giants claim mastery over the silent, twilight wilderness. As the taiga plunges into darkness, our giant has secured his warmth against the freeze. But thousands of miles away, in the shadow of the Rockies, a very different behemoth is just waking up to a much deadlier dawn.